It is Sean once again, and I am going to respond to a comment that was made on one of the videos. And this comment was in response to opening a security business in the state of California. So I got a comment by a William Cater. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, William. But he said this: since you mentioned the idea of opening a security company in California, I would imagine that this cost may end up being considerably lower in a place like Ohio, for example. Interesting idea though. As one who successfully completed both the private security academy and the police academy in Ohio, along with 11 years of full-time experience, I'm interested in finding out more of what this type of business could offer. We have seen rideshare businesses like Uber and Lyft, also food delivery like Grubhub, etc. Wonder how well a business plan would work if the same concepts were applied to running a security company via an app. Hiring people, obviously a background check would still apply, and have a requirement for the potential job candidates to be certified as security officers in their respective state and have a certain amount of verified experience. That means they would provide their own car, truck to patrol in. You give them a magnetic door logo with your company phone number, and you give them a set of your agency patches for them to put on their uniforms. As the business grows, then provide uniforms. Wow, this is an awesome idea. What somebody's gonna end up doing is in 10 years from now, right now we're in 2021, perhaps 2031, someone's gonna be watching this video and be thinking, damn, why didn't I think about this idea? William is an intuitive person. He's a forward thinker. He's going to get somewhere ahead in life if he hasn't been there already. This guy plans for the future, and I love this idea. I love this business model. But what we're going to do is we're going to find out through this video if this business model is going to work. So what I actually did is I wrote down my notes, and I typically don't do that, but I want to make sure that I present as much information as possible that will help you decide whether or not this is a good idea. Maybe you plan on creating a business model similar to this. So I wrote it down. I shouldn't forget anything here, but I always forget something. Now, mind you, this is the 5th time I'm retaking this video. I want to get it as perfect as I can because I want to give you the best information. So number one, I am in the state of California. And because I'm in the state of California, I know mostly about the rules and regulations in the state of California. William, I don't really know about Ohio. Matter of fact, I've never been to Ohio. And there's a lot of other people that are chiming in from other states. I unfortunately don't know the laws of your states, but I'm hoping what you could do is apply what you learned from California law as the way I present it to you. And again, I'm not an attorney. I say this many times, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a business professional. This is everything in this video is my personal opinion, and you have to assume that the information is probably wrong. That's my disclaimer. And what I want you to do is I want you to present all the information I present in this video and present it to your attorney in your state, or perhaps somebody who is a business consultant. Present the information I have and present it to them. Also present the information that I have and present it to the licensing board in your state, the licensing board that license private investigators or private patrol operators, private security company owners, and private security officers. I'm going to mention the term PPO and private patrol operator in California. This term refers to a private security company owner. So every security company needs to have a private patrol operator license. There has to be somebody that manages that license, and they're called the qualified manager, also known as the QM. So I'm going to be referring to PPO. That's not a type of health insurance. That refers to a private patrol operator organization. Your state might call somebody in this category or business entity something else. Okay? These are my disclaimers. So, what I like about this app, this is private security services on demand, even private investigation services on demand. So similar to Uber and Lyft, you get to view a quick profile of the person that is to be delivering service to you. And what I like about this model is that you get a breakdown of maybe this person's training experience, a photograph of them, and see if they're the right fit for you as a consumer. What this does is it creates some form of social validation. So people would rather prefer to do business with others, with people that who they are able to see maybe in a photograph, or obtain reviews from other people. They're most likely going to validate you because of the validation that others created for you. So this is what I like about it. And see, the thing right now with private security services is you're hiring the private security company, right? It depends on who the owners are. You're not necessarily hiring the independent private security officer that will actually be working the post. Same thing goes with private investigators. Many times you're just hiring the company and you really haven't met the private investigator or private security officer that will be working the assignment. Yeah, you probably won't interview them, but you probably go through some type of interview, maybe even a discussion with the owners of the companies. This is what I like about this this app, this platform, this business model, is you can see who exactly you're hiring. Okay. Number two, in California, whenever you operate anywhere outside of the business that's listed with BSIS, and I will be mentioning BSIS in the video. BSIS is the Bureau of Security Investigative Services. They are the investigative and licensing arm of or for private investigators and private security professionals in the state of California, just the licensing board. And they require that when you operate in an area that's not, or an office that's not listed on file with BSIS records, you have to get a branch office certificate. And that costs roughly $250. The Business and Professions Code, that's the governing code that governs laws that BSIS regulates, doesn't give us much discretion. Well, it doesn't give us much clarification on when we need a branch office certificate, other than telling us whenever we operate outside of the office that's listed on file with BSIS. That's very ambiguous. So is it a different county? Is it a different city? Let's talk about that. So if you want it to be on the more riskier side, but put out less money, I mean $250 per branch office certificate, there's 58 counties in California. So that's $58 times $250 every 2 years for the branch office certificate. You're looking at ballpark figure of $12,000 to $14,000. You're gonna have to do your own math. I'm just estimating some numbers here. Now, if you wanted to take less risk, but put in more more cost into getting branch office certificates, or you want more branch office certificates because you think the BSIS is going to hammer down on you because you're operating outside of your office. There's about 480 cities in the state of California, and you would need, again, $250 times 480. That's about 120,000 ballpark figure for incorporated cities. That does not count the unincorporated cities that you might need to get another branch office certificate. So look at the numbers already. They're high. Okay. Now, Williams' business model involves independent contractors. You cannot just farm out security services and give somebody a patch and the number to your company and then farm out security services whatever you want. You could do that, but they have to be independent contractors. I'm sorry, they have to be independent contractors. And to be an independent contractor, you have to have your own PPO license, and that involves about $1,377 for the licensing fee, more or less. I'm probably a little bit off. I think it's every 2 years. Again, you got to check my math and my numbers. I'm actually on the road right now. So all these people need to come up with $1,300 and $1,377. Okay, and my recommendation for a new private security company owner, I mean, when you need the insurance and everything else, it's going to amount to roughly $27,000. Okay, it's $27,000. I justify that number in another video that I made. I'll leave a link in the description below to that video, and I'll justify exactly why it's $27,000. Okay, now each of these cities is going to require, or unincorporated areas is going to probably require a business license, and business licenses can range from $50, $100, $500, $1,000, or it could be based on your anticipated revenue for the year. Okay, the numbers can vary so greatly. Next, to develop such an app, you're going to need to have an app developer or software developer. That might cost you ballpark figure of about $100,000 US dollars, and then you're going to have somebody that maintains that app, because when there's bugs or fixes that need to be made, somebody needs to fix that, because you're going to have an app that is just useless. So I mean, give or take, an app developer might cost you about $40,000, maybe $60,000. So you have to tack that on as well. Also, attorney fees. Something like this is bound to create some type of litigation. It's also bound for other maybe cities or counties or jurisdictions to want to sue you for maybe paying a business license or paying taxes that's specific in their area. See, on a patrol route, you have like 10 different posts that you may go to in a night, and they might be in 10 different cities. Well, where do you pay the taxes to? Is it each individual city, or is it the city where the office is based out of? Because if I'm a city and I know that you're operating in my area, well, your service might create some type of additional, maybe unfunded liability. Maybe you work an alarm a contract, and then you constantly have to call the police to assist you with maybe broken windows or burglary reports. That's a form of an unfunded liability, and there might be a cost basis for this jurisdiction that's accepting you in their area. They're going to want a piece of the pie too. So this is where attorney comes in. You might have to fend off some of these jurisdictions that are trying to bring you to court and take your money. So that brings attorney fees. I mean, you're looking at easy $50,000, $60,000 retainer. Again, it just depends on the type of attorney you'll be hiring. I think it would be worth it to have an attorney, because again, you're going to be creating liability, exposing a little bit of risk because of this app. You might also have some competitors that might want to create a similar product. Maybe there's some type of trademark issue or some other copyright infringement. And again, I'm not an attorney. I'm just, again, speculating for you guys. Just gathering information that you guys can present to your attorney. Something else we need to discuss is for advertising. Whenever you advertise anywhere that is outside of the record on file with BSIS, you need a branch office certificate as well. So you not only need a branch office certificate whenever you perform services outside of the office, whenever you advertise anywhere outside of the office, you need a branch office certificate. So this is the problem, and this is where this is going to be BSIS's argument. Their argument is that you need a branch office certificate for all kinds of places that are listed under your business model. So for example, you're more likely going to scroll down on a drop-down menu to where you want your private security or private investigation services, right? And it'll be probably just about any city or county that you indicate in the drop-down menu. The BSI argument is because you're able to solicit service or bid for service anywhere that's in the drop-down menu, you are essentially, as a private patrol operator or even a private investigator, you are essentially advertising services in places that's outside of the business record office with BSIS. So that's their argument. You scroll through any city where you need service, and they're gonna push that argument. So then your next question might be, Sean, what are the chances of BSIS finding out that I don't have a branch office certificate, or finding out I don't have a private patrol operator license? What's the chance of that? Well, the chances of them finding out are the chances of them answering the phone when you have a question about your PPO or PI license or your guard registration. The chances of them answering the phone within 30 minutes of you calling. Okay, that's the chances. So there's if you ever called them, sometimes they have great service and sometimes they have service that are in dire need of improvement. But a lot of people complain about the the level of service. Nobody answers, or it takes forever to get a call back. It's going to be hard for them to really figure out what you're doing. As for them having an investigator assigned to this, I mean, they just don't have the resources for this. So what's going to end up happening is somebody's going to complain, a consumer's going to complain for faulty or some type of services that wasn't within the expectations of the contract, and file a complaint with BSIS. So it's going to probably be consumer initiated complaint. Okay, that's where they're going to start investigating. And before pursuing your case, they might try to figure out or calculate how much they can get out of this in fines, because BSIS, I mean, no government agency wants to admit this, but they're a business too. They are able to operate off of the fines that are imposed when you go to administrative court. They also might try to settle with you. So instead of going to trial, they might just offer a settlement. And sometimes, to me, that's like strong arming you. They try to do that to see how much. And geez, if you have this app, they probably figure that you have a lot of money, and they're most likely going to pursue charges. So I really don't think you guys should be operating in this manner without branch office certificates. For business licenses, if you operate without a business license, cities are so sparse with resources. I just don't see them having a city or a county investigator investigate unlicensed activity. I mean, just having a special unit for that, especially right now. I mean, everybody is trying hard to get their resources. Ultimately, the decision is yours. You want to spend a couple $100,000 on this app to see if it works or not. Quite frankly, if I had the capital to do this, I would, but I don't. And somebody out there is going to do it. If you can get a group of investors, I think you should do some more research on the risk and benefit ratio to see if this is something where you can profit from. I think it is, but again, I don't have the capital for something like this. This requires an extensive amount of development, further research that's beyond this video. Some final last thoughts, those of you who are private investigators. We already have something that is sort of like an app, and we've had it for as long as the internet has been in existence. We've had email serve programs, listserv programs, and basically what that is, it's a pool of licensed private investigators getting together and as one, reaching out to the public and mentioning that if you need private investigation services in a certain area, this is your point of contact. Those who do process serving, there's a business model, an organization called PI Now, and I think they're a private entity. And what they do again is they have this serve program where you put in your name, not your name, you put in your area where you need process serving service, and then a process server, registered process server, will reach out to you. Those who belong to the California Association of Legal Investigators, there's a listserv program where you become a member. When somebody needs some type of help, maybe a private investigator needs some type of help, they need to reach out to an area where they can't service, they post it on this listserv email group, and whoever's able to service area will respond. So this is the archaic version of having an app. As you can see, we definitely have some utility for this. Now, could you legally do that? Offer some type of listserv program, be the host of an email program where somebody needs service and you reach out to everybody on the email. I can't tell you whether it's legal or not, but generally if it's non-profit, BSIS will generally leave you alone. And then you also have to mention that some groups that have these listserv programs, they are pretty much embedded with the politicians out there. In harsher terms, they walk around and they kiss their ass And BSIS, not BSIS, the politicians are less likely to impose some type of bill that is against some of the people that kiss their ass. And I'm just being very blunt about that. And obviously the bad thing about kissing ass is sometimes it catches up to you, and these people are no longer in office, and now there's nobody's ass to kiss, and the other politicians who you didn't kiss their ass, they remember that, and they tend to impose bills that are contrary to how you operate. Okay. Anyhow, I hope this video doesn't discourage you. Oh, one more thing, for private investigators, everything is much cheaper to get a private investigator license. You're looking at a little bit under $200. I think it's half of that every 2 years to renew. Branch office certificates are about, I think they're $50 or $75. I haven't looked in the longest time on how these fees are arranged, but I definitely encourage you to do that. But you're looking at maybe 1/4 of the cost of a private patrol operator who wants to invent some type of app. Also, you have to keep in mind that there might be maybe a patent issue, so you may need to discuss the issues with a patent attorney, and that's an additional expense. So is the patent. Again, I'm not sure if an app requires a patent, but it's something you definitely want to look into. So let me close this video with this. If you have any questions, concerns, please comment below. Maybe I could do a follow-up video if you need any follow-up information. If you think this is something that is viable in our industry, private investigation industry, private patrol operator industry, let me know if this is something that you're interested in and that you're going to actually research a little bit more. I'm really interested in knowing what you guys think about an app. Now remember, if you're not, sometimes when you're not in the technology, you're not going to last maybe too long in certain industries if you don't keep yourself updated. With private investigation, private security, I'm not sure that's necessarily totally accurate. There's still some traditional clients that want to just do business with people that they've known, maybe through word of mouth. And this bridge communication has nothing to do with social media. We have a lot of people that are still successful in arranging these types of contracts, agreements. So I just want to know what you guys' thoughts are on this. You guys take care and be safe and stand by for future videos. Take care.